It's late at night. The house feels still. The lights are low. You're sitting on the couch, half paying attention to something playing on TV, when suddenly your dog goes completely still. Their ears flick. Their body tightens. And then, without warning, they start barking. Loud, sharp, intense. Yet there's nothing there. No footsteps, no knock at the door, no visible movement in the dark, just silence and your dog staring into what looks like empty space. You call out their name, but they don't react. Their focus is locked onto something you cannot see. And in that moment, a strange thought appears. What are they sensing that you aren't? Most dog owners dismiss this behavior. They laugh it off, saying, "He's just acting strange," or "that dog's bark at nothing all the time." Some believe it's just excess energy. Others think it's boredom or a need for attention. Sometimes people even make jokes about ghosts or unseen forces. But behavioral science offers a very different explanation. When a dog seems to bark at nothing, it is almost never truly nothing. It is something subtle, something far away, something your human senses are simply not designed to notice. To really understand this, you have to step into your dog's perspective. A world where sound travels farther, where smells create detailed invisible maps, where survival once depended on detecting the smallest change in the surroundings. Dogs do not experience reality the way humans do. Their hearing is significantly more sensitive, able to pick up frequencies nearly twice as high as what humans can hear. They can detect the faint buzz of electricity moving through walls. They hear distant footsteps outside long before you become aware of anything. Even the slightest movement beneath the ground can register in their senses. So when your dog suddenly starts barking into the darkness, they may not be reacting to nothing at all. They could be responding to something just beyond your perception. But it goes even deeper than that. Because barking is not only about what is happening outside. It is also connected to what is happening inside them. From a psychological viewpoint, barking is a form of communication. It is your dog's way of signaling that something has shifted, and that something does not always have to be physical. Sometimes it exists within their own internal state. Research from animal behavior experts at places like the University of Helsinki and other academic institutions shows that dogs are extremely sensitive to inconsistencies in their environment. They recognize patterns. They remember routines. And when something changes, even slightly, it can trigger a reaction. A noise at an unusual time. A scent that feels unfamiliar. A subtle change in the emotional tone of the home. Your dog notices all of these details. And when their mind cannot quickly identify what they are sensing, they bark, not randomly, but because of uncertainty. In the wild, uncertainty can mean danger. It could signal a hidden predator, an unknown presence, or a possible threat just out of sight. So barking becomes a message, a warning, even a question. It is a call for attention. Something is different. Something is not right. This response is deeply connected to their evolutionary past. Long before dogs became companions to humans, they were animals driven by survival instincts. Their ancestors relied on sharp perception to stay alive. They lived in packs where communication was essential. A single alert bark could make the difference between safety and danger. And even though your dog now sleeps comfortably and eats regularly, that ancient programming still exists within them. It has not disappeared. It has only adapted. Today, your home is their territory. And they still see themselves as its protector. So when your dog suddenly barks at what seems like nothing, they may actually be fulfilling the same role their ancestors once had, observing their surroundings, detecting unusual changes, and protecting their group. There is another layer to this behavior that makes it even more interesting. Dogs are not only sensitive to physical changes, they are highly aware of emotional ones too. Studies in canine neuroscience show that dogs can recognize human emotions through subtle signals like tone of voice, body language, and even scent changes caused by hormones. When you feel stressed, your body releases cortisol. When you feel calm and connected, it releases oxytocin. Dogs can sense these chemical shifts. They do not just observe how you feel, they actually perceive it. So sometimes when a dog appears to bark at nothing, they may actually be reacting to you, your stress, your tension, or emotions you have not expressed. Even if you are sitting quietly, even if you say nothing at all, your dog is constantly scanning for signs that something in their environment or within their pack is out of balance. When they sense that imbalance, their nervous system responds. Their heart rate rises. Their muscles tighten. Their focus sharpens. And then, they bark. Not because they feel confused, but because they are trying to bring clarity, to turn the unseen into something known. There is also a neurological factor involved. The canine brain is designed for recognizing patterns and making predictions. When something does not match their internal expectation of how the world should function, it creates a form of mental tension. Barking then becomes a method to release that tension. It is an attempt to provoke a reaction from the surroundings to answer a question: is something actually there or is it a mistake? In certain situations, especially with highly alert or sensitive dogs, this system can become overly active. They might start reacting to extremely subtle triggers, distant noises, faint vibrations, or even stored memories from past experiences. Yes, memories. Dogs, much like humans, can connect specific sounds or environments with events that happened before. If your dog once experienced a sound that led to something meaningful, such as a stranger entering the home, a sudden loud disruption, or even a frightening situation, their mind may stay ready to respond to similar signals later on. So what appears as barking at nothing might actually be your dog recalling something, expecting something, preparing for something. Then there is the aspect of attachment. Dogs create strong emotional connections with their humans, in many ways similar to the attachment bond between parents and children. When this connection is deep, your dog becomes very aware of your presence and your emotional condition. They do not simply live alongside you, they align themselves with you. Your daily habits become their habits. Your emotional state becomes part of their inner experience. So if something feels unusual to them, even if you cannot clearly identify it, they may react, sometimes through restlessness, sometimes through heightened alertness, and sometimes through sudden unexplained barking. This is where many people misinterpret their dogs. They view the behavior as unnecessary, disruptive, or something that needs to be stopped. But what if instead of asking, "How can I make this stop?" we asked a different question: "What is my dog trying to communicate?" Because behind every bark is information about their surroundings, their emotions, and their sense of safety. When we ignore it, we lose a chance to understand them better. This does not mean every bark carries deep meaning. Sometimes it truly is a small external trigger, a passing animal, a faint noise, or a distant door closing. The important thing is recognizing patterns. If your dog begins barking more frequently than usual, if their reactions seem stronger, if they appear restless, anxious, or unable to relax, then it is worth paying closer attention. Changes in barking behavior can reflect shifts in their internal state. It might indicate increased stress, environmental changes, or even underlying discomfort or health concerns. Dogs do not communicate using words, so they rely on behavior instead. Barking is one of their most effective ways to express, to signal, and to connect. So the next time your dog barks at nothing, pause for a moment. Observe carefully. Listen with more than just your ears. Pay attention to their body language, their posture, and the direction they are looking. Think about what happened just before the barking started. Was there a sound you missed? A small change in the environment? A shift in your own mood? Often, the answer is hidden in these small details. And sometimes the bark is not about the outside world at all. It may be about the connection between you and your dog. A moment of awareness, a signal that says, "I am here, I am attentive, I am connected to this space and to you." In a way, it is a reminder that even in silence, your dog is never truly unaware. They are constantly experiencing a deeper, more complex version of reality, one filled with signals humans often overlook, one where nothing is ever completely nothing. And perhaps that is the most remarkable part. It shows that your dog is always engaged with their surroundings, always present, always listening, even when you are not.